Phoenix family is mourning the loss of a loved one tonight, killed in what they call a senseless act of violence.
This happened at the Quick Trip near 44th Street and McDowell Road. Fox 10's Taylor Wirtz joins us now with details. Taylor.
Yeah, Brian and Ashley, Phoenix police says that 52-year-old Danny Lynn Castard was murdered, shot and killed inside this Quick Trip on Friday morning. Now, Danny's family says he was inside the gas station waiting in line for the bathroom when 25-year-old DeAndre Franklin tried to cut the line. When Danny intervened, they say Franklin shot him. He was taken to the hospital but died soon after. Phoenix police arrested Franklin in connection to the murder yesterday. Danny's family says it's a senseless act of violence that took the life of someone who was always looking out for others, someone who did not deserve to die this way.
Danny was literally the person that would give you the shirt off of his back. He was a very humble person. He, wasn't just about just riches in life in the sense of like material possessions, but just about showing up, and for people that he cared about. We're all still honestly in shock. He left for work on Friday and now he's never coming home.
I just want to say to him that I really love him and that I'm sorry that he had to go through this and that he was probably scared. And that I really love him, bro.
Another senseless violence, another act of senseless violence. 52-year-old man waiting in line at the Quick Trip to use the bathroom. The guy comes in and skips the line. So he says something to the guy or gets into a, altercation with the guy over him skipping the line, and the guy pulls out a firearm and kills him. These are the times that we're in, folks, where, you head to work, you stop at the gas station, you want to use the bathroom, and, someone comes in and just rudely skips the line. You say something to them, and, that's like the end of your life. Very, very senseless, man. It sounds like this 52-year-old guy was, doing what he supposed to do, go to work, be a provider. Of course, they had, great things to say about him, and, my condolences to the family. Looks like those were maybe his two kids. So again, my condolences to them as well. And I just don't really understand, what, like for what, like just to use the bathroom. So, now you have a murder charge, because you chose to go in and skip the line and someone has said something to you, instead of you, being, courteous or, a good citizen, you decide to whip your gun out and kill him. It's just like, did you just want to go to jail? Did you have nothing really else to live for? Did you not have anybody, that you really cared about in life, that, you would want to put yourself in the position of where now you're going to be facing a murder charge and, possibly life in prison or even worse? It just really doesn't make sense. And, it's hard to really make sense of these things, because in order to make sense of these things, even though we do know that the motive was, they had gotten into some type of either verbal or physical altercation over, the cutting of the line for the bathroom. We still are not in this person's head, the person that's accused of killing him. So again, very, very tragic, and over something as small as, using the bathroom. And, of course you can look at this many different ways, but it just all boils down to it just being senseless violence. And again, people just don't cherish life these days. They don't cherish their life or your life. They're willing to throw away, their life to, take a life, because they chose to skip a line for the bathroom. It just really doesn't make any sense, man. And then you have other people who were in the Quick Trip, they'll, never forget that. It'll always stick with them. So they'll have some type of trauma associated with it. It's just it's just a disregard for human life, theirs and yours. So You know, gotta be careful who you get into confrontations with. A lot of times, people, do stuff and they expect for a reaction or, I mean, I'm sure anyone in that situation would have said something to the person who was skipping the line. I mean, you obviously see there's a line, to go into the bathroom, and just for you just to not, just because you may have to use it real bad, that doesn't mean that you skip the others who were already there and waiting to use those bathroom services. So again, man, none of this really makes any sense. And if everything is true as far as what they're accusing, this guy shouldn't see the light of day.
And you can see a growing memorial for Danny here outside this Quick Trip family, putting out flowers, notes, and a photo in memory of their loved one. As for Franklin, he is being held on a $1 million bond. His next court date is January 3rd, and the family tells me they plan to be at every single one. There is a GoFundMe set up to help with funeral expenses, so if you'd like to donate, we'll put a link with this story on fox10phoenix.com. In Phoenix, Taylor Wirtz, Fox 10 News.
Not sure if she meant February 3rd or January 3rd, but this may have been like a story that happened earlier in the month. Um, Again, senseless violence. Um, Really nothing more that you can really say about it. The guy was wrong place at the wrong time, but he was not thinking that someone would come in, skip him in the line, and even if he said something to him, that they would actually try to kill him. Like, that's really taking stuff to the ultimate extreme. And it looked like, he was a bigger statured guy, so I'm not sure if that has, anything, to do with it, but you know, yeah, just doesn't really make any sense. But again, my prayers and thoughts go out to the family, and it's gonna be very tough, man, knowing that, this your loved one died over trying to use the bathroom. And it's just really, it's just unfathomable, really. But I'm gonna go ahead and close out. If you like my content, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. This is Justin Paul. Peace.